In a village high in the Himalayas, one woman has 5 husbands, all brothers, all sharing one house, one wife. Nobody in the village blinks. It's just how families work there. Anthropologists have a name for it: fraternal polyandry. It's not ancient history. It still exists today among the Nainba people of Nepal, but here's what should really bother you. For most of human history, something like this, or stranger, was normal almost everywhere. You've been taught monogamy is natural. One man, one woman, forever, hardwired into your biology. That's not history. That's marketing. For roughly 95% of the time modern humans have existed on this planet, something didn't matter at all who your father was. Chimpanzees, your closest living relatives, don't do monogamy. Bonobos use sex the way you use small talk, constantly, casually, to diffuse tension. Early humans likely weren't so different. Multiple partners, shared child-rearing, paternity so blurry that entire tribes raised children together because nobody could say for certain whose child was whose, and it didn't matter. Right now, you probably feel a small flicker of discomfort. That reaction isn't yours. It was installed. In the 1980s, anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hardy studied primate mating systems. She made an argument that quietly detonated decades of assumptions. Female promiscuity wasn't a malfunction. It was a strategy. By mating with multiple males, early human females could confuse paternity on purpose. If no single man could be sure a child was his, he had no reason to kill it, and every reason to help protect it. Anthropologists call this paternity confusion. It shows up across dozens of small societies, from the Amazon to the Arctic, but that's only the surface. Among the Ache people of Paraguay and the Bari of Venezuela, there's a belief anthropologists call partible paternity, the idea that one child can have more than one biological father. A woman could have multiple partners during pregnancy, and every one of those men was considered a father, with real obligations, real responsibility, real meat brought back to that child. Researchers tracking child survival rates found something remarkable. Children recognized as having multiple fathers were significantly more likely to survive to adulthood. More men invested, more food, more protection, more survival. Your instinct says, this sounds chaotic. Evolution disagreed. Evolution called it a strategy that worked. So what changed? One word: property. About 10,000 years ago, humans in the Fertile Crescent started doing something new, growing food instead of finding it. For the first time in human history, a person could own something real: land, grain stores, livestock, and pass it down. And the moment ownership entered the picture, a brutal new question showed up with it. Who inherits this? That question could only be answered one way. A man needed to know with certainty which children were his. So paternity stopped being irrelevant. It became the single most important fact in a family's economic survival. And the fastest way to guarantee paternity wasn't trust. It was control. Historical records from early agricultural societies show a consistent pattern: restricted movement, restricted sexuality, restricted social contact, chaperones, veils, seclusion, arranged marriage, virginity requirements, laws punishing a woman's infidelity far more harshly than a man's. None of this was about morality. It was accounting, a society protecting its inheritance line, and a woman's body became the ledger. Picture a household in Mesopotamia, 4,000 years ago. Grain stores line the walls. This family's entire wealth built over generations. A father stands beside his daughter as a marriage contract is read aloud. It specifies her fidelity as a legal condition, right next to the size of her dowry. This wasn't romance. This was risk management with a wedding. The Code of Hammurabi, carved in stone around 1750 BC, punished a wife's adultery with death, while allowing her husband far more freedom with other women. This wasn't a one-off. Similar asymmetries appear in legal codes across early Mesopotamia, Egypt, later Rome, and medieval Europe. But the story doesn't end in the ancient world. In the 20th century, hospitals started running something new: DNA paternity tests. Multiple studies across different countries found a strikingly consistent number. Somewhere between 1% and 10% of children were not biologically related to the man who believed he was their father. For 10,000 years, an entire system of law, marriage, and morality was built to prevent exactly this. And it never fully worked. It just went underground. Not every society took this path. The Mosuo people of southwestern China never fully adopted the property and paternity model. Property passes through the mother's line. Men visit at night and leave in the morning. There's no word in their language for husband or wife. It's called walking marriage, and it has worked for the Mosuo for centuries, which raises an uncomfortable question. If a whole culture can function without male ownership of female sexuality, what exactly were the rest of us protecting? You'd like to think we left all of this behind. We didn't. We just stopped writing it into law and started writing it into culture instead. The word for a sexually active man and the word for a sexually active woman still don't carry the same weight. In most languages on Earth, that gap didn't appear by accident. It's a fossil, the linguistic residue of 10,000 years of inheritance law. So, the next time you feel a flicker of judgment about who someone sleeps with or how many partners someone has had, ask yourself an honest question. Is that instinct really yours? Or is it a rule your ancestors installed to protect a grain silo that stopped existing thousands of years ago? You didn't inherit a moral code. You inherited an inheritance law, and it's been quietly running your love life ever since.